They say real G's move in silence like lasagna, but here we're going into Mirage. We're not eating anything Italian. So what I can say about this, though, is a hell of a matchup.
A Mirage, is it? What kind of setting would it be?
For lasagna?
Not for lasagna, but for Mirage, because you said we're not going into an Italian setup, but has a little bit of an Italian feel.
It could be like the kitchen, right? There's a nice cast iron, and it looks like well equipped, and then there's a nice little couch set up. You could eat dinner up there and be
Either way,
apps.
I think the pipes are clean, unlike overpasses. So hopefully, with that cleanliness, we see a little bit more of a close match this time for the fans, huh?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if you look at the Misfits from the last map, you have to hope that, you know, they bring more in terms of firepower here in Mirage.
Well, they're just definitely hoping to flush the liquid down. You know, they couldn't get him out of the pipes on overpass, kept flowing on the Mirage. There's water everywhere. They
skated around the outsides of the edge of what needed to happen there, around that pipe at least. Let's take a look, though, and think about these Betway odds, though, because we're about to get this matchup underway, and it looks like Liquid are the favorites. I don't think that's any surprise to anyone here.
No, yeah, and like I said before, Liquid's going to have to make a lot of errors, I think, for this one to be close. Misfits, if they can somehow bounce back, if they're actually in a very good state of mind, and what we saw just now was a fluke, this could be a very close match. But one of the things that worries me lately is Misfits' mindset. They just lost Luminasi in the minor, and playing these matches right now, I just feel like their mindset might not be fresh.
And they were getting smashed the week that you were not here in EPL.
Oh, yeah,
they were just getting handled, and this does not look good for like 3 weeks now.
To continue the handling, I have to ask you guys for one-word predictions. It can be
word or score.
It can be a word. It can be a number. And by word,
it's basically what everyone tells me. It's yes. I'm just gonna say yes.
Oh, we have a yes man on our hands. Jordan?
No, that people tell me that.
Oh,
run.
Sorry. Run.
You said it could be a word, right?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Run fast. Fast we will do. We will run away from this segment and give it over to our commentators, Blue and Launders, who will be giving us Mirage for the last time this evening.
Thank you very much, Stunna. It's going to be just a couple of seconds here before we jump into the match, folks. So let's get ready for it. Team Liquid taking on Misfits for the final time, and it's our final match for the evening. It switches over to Mirage, so maybe a little bit better for Misfits at the end of the day, especially considering they're starting off CT side now. But ultimately, after that last map, the odds are not looking too great.
Yeah, they're not looking very good at all. It's going to be an uphill climb, I think, no matter what map we have it on. It's probably one of the least confident versions of Misfits that we've probably seen all season, unfortunately. Even though it seemed like that was a really tough loss that shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah, hopefully we start to, well, I'll talk about this more in a second here as the action's getting started. Devo starts it off with a nice quick headshot. They will find a trade seconds later, though, as JDM takes out Sean. Quite a few of the CTs getting pushed outside of the site. Shazam's able to sneak in one more, but unfortunately overpeaks from jungle, so he's going to be taken down by JDM as well. JDM keeping the team on top of this right now with these trades, and also very aggressive pushes from the Ts. They, push completely out here over towards jungle, which the CTs don't get any more presence, but that kind of backfires a little bit because now Devo goes in, gets the close-up headshot angle against JDM, and is able to take him down, and now Twist, unfortunately, plays himself because he has to go back out, watch for Connector, and gets caught out by a guy inside of Window Room. So now it's Nitro in a 1v3. They're going to push against him, and wow, Devo just destroys all 3 of those remaining Ts after the plant with a single shot, I think, on every single one of them. Nicely done by Devo, and that's going to give Misfits the pistol.
Absolutely. 3 for 3. Very nicely done. JDM getting the only 2 kills of the round for Liquid. That allowed them to plant at the very minimum, and I think that from there, we might see either a full-on clock save, a couple of people upgrading. I personally think if you're going to buy on the next round, don't buy anything but maybe a flash, just because you're buying out of your smokes on the next round. You're not planning to win this one, so the damage is worth something. But to ensure that you can win the next one or increase your odds tremendously by having a couple extra smokes, I think that should be held in a much higher regard. But it's actually just a couple upgraded pistols and no flashes, so. Splitting up into a default, 1 player in Palace, falling back after making noise, and Shazam maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, but 6 there to back him up.
Sick, he's going to be able to swing in here very quickly to take down Twist. Also spinning back the other way, finding JDM, and it's just a matter of systematically shutting this down since Liquid did not invest really anything at all into this round except for a couple of P250s. So they're going to be very weak across the board here, and Misfits should be able to take this quite easily. I am looking forward to seeing more for Misfits, though, that we really didn't get a chance to see on that last map due to economy issues 1-for-1. Hopefully we'll see a lot more op presence because we didn't get to see Shazam really utilizing that at all for the most part back in the last map. Now we should be able to get a better chance at it, especially with Misfits starting off strong and assuming as well that they're able to close out on this second round without any issue whatsoever, which I think is a safe assumption at this point.
Nitro's given up. He has no
Just had to go get a,
no faith in his
had to
team.
go get a drink.
He lost
from
one
the
round.
fridge.
That's it. Yeah, team's falling apart.
He's one of the guys that that says GG in chat when a team loses pistol.
Yeah. God, I hate matchmaking.
So apparently, we know the actual issue. There's a small technical issue with him, so that's why he's currently away. They're working on fixing that since they have the time right now. They might as well utilize it.
Whoa. This would be the
No
most
way.
epic plan. No, he's what?
Oh yeah, there's people on site anyway.
Did he get it fixed? Maybe he got it fixed. Let's see. Oh, wow. Just running out mid.
He's got the losing bonus at least, so
Yeah.
he'll do that. There's not anything to save. So, quick shutdown there at the hands of Misfits. So a nice little 2-0 start for them. And now let's see here, because we might be in a tech pause because of that issue. I'm not sure if him starting it fixed it, but yeah, no, it looks like he is still working on fixing that issue, and then we should be able to jump back in. It should hopefully take just a moment or two here, and then we'll jump back into the action. Otherwise, he's got to play.
Maybe they're just icing the kicker.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too hot of a start for Misfits. Do they have the yellow background on their logo?
I don't think it's actually on their logo, but I think that is like, it doesn't match like the design of the team. Because I think the logo is just the rabbit or whatever that is. I think it's a rabbit.
It's clearly a hare, Blue.
Oh, sorry.
Can't you tell?
No, I don't know the difference.
Hares have way more teeth.
Is that true, or are you just...
Why would I say it if it wasn't true, Blue?
Because you've done this before.
Taco is bald.
That is true, yeah.
2 for 2.
I kind of want to look this up now.
You have to be kidding me.
I'll believe you for now.
How can we cast together if there's no trust?
I don't know. Well, someone dropped out, actually, from Misfits. Oh, no, sorry, no, that's Liquid there on T-side. I forgot the sides for a second there. So, yeah, he's probably just trying to reconnect real quick. And then we should be live with it in about a half minute or so.
NACS in shambles.
Ruined.
Soiled it.
A lone pistol on the ground as a reminder. What could have been. So yeah, unfortunately it happens on like the 3rd round, so there's like not a whole lot to talk about right now, but yeah, it looks like he's coming back in now. So we should be unpaused in just a second and be ready to jump into the action here. And this is going to be the buy round more than likely coming out from Team Liquid 2. Since they did get that 1st round plant, they obviously don't get the one on the 2nd round. However, they should be able to buy out here. It's not going to be the greatest, but they do indeed get to buy here.
The utility they want, the Galil they don't want. But they've also got much better chance than having to save again because they didn't get a plant. So default out with mid control. Sean already on the left side of window with a Molotov for connector if there is in fact going to be some type of fast A split, which seems like there's potential for. But a deep B smoke means the rotates are going to be heavily in favor of players today. Oh, it's actually a cat split. That is really rough for Misfits.
As you can see, starting to push back into it. Almanac's able to hold for 1 kill, but seconds later, 2 more trades roll back out. Now a 3rd from Elige as he picks up his 2nd personal kill on the round, leaving only the 2 A players alive as that is completely cleared out the B side here. It's an open plant for Liquid, and I doubt we're going to see Devo and Sick try to attempt anything here. More than likely, they're going to fall back, and that's going to be Liquid's 1st round on the board here.
That is crazy. They had Misfits went for a setup where they thought, okay, we have at least a few seconds where we smoke deep B. We didn't hear any noise whatsoever. We didn't spot anyone from the crack when we were jumped up. And it was still just a B split like right after that. They're so hard to deal with that. The fact that Misfits rotated on that information and maybe weren't going to commit to the rotate, but at least while the smoke was up, we're going to think about it. But it was in that moment of time that it made most sense for Liquid to go B, and they didn't really know that B control was taken because, again, they hadn't played anyone there. So a little bit of fortune for Liquid results in a round win, a save on 2 players for Misfits, and enough money to drop for their teammates at the very minimum. So pretty good round to fall back on.
This does still leave Misfits with enough cash flow to be able to rebuy into the 4th round here. So for all intents and purposes, this is going to become the first true telling of a gun round. But If they drop this one, this is pretty much a full buyout for Misfits. If they drop this one, they are going to be on Felico very, very quickly here, and that is what is going to allow Team Liquid to not only come back this quickly, but also take the lead away from Misfits as well. Very important round here that could potentially decide who has the advantage in most of the early round. A good nade early on coming off from the Misfits, though. Pretty much destroys Elige's HP. There's a greater nade that gets tossed back, and it's actually going to be the thing that kills Sean Garris here. Ominek able to go back up, gets a double kill, he lines players up. However, Nitro strikes back and twists. Look for the player in window room, too. Off to suffice, but just the molly for now, though, as Devo is falling back further into jungle here. He does not want to fight for mid at this point.
Mid control is won by Liquid. Rotate is actually into CT with the intent of kind of playing more for A than B. We're just staying safe from Cat as well, which is a position that you can play. It's also kind of hard to smoke this window out. Not that they wouldn't know how, but it's less likely that a team will do it.
They've got this top mid control working with. We're not doing anything with it, though. That's the problem, is now we can see Sick just re-aggressing out from window. Kills Nitro and Twist. No sign of panic at all from Stan, really, here. Just continues to work himself into the B site, where it was essentially open. So the decision to go back towards top mid and continuing to hold it in the open proves to be a little bit of a mistake here, since B was left entirely on its own. And Shazam, with a cross angle from way into the A site there, is able to take down Stan when he tries to push out on the Cat. So there we go. Misfits close it back out, and they will be the ones to take control here. That should re-break Liquid.
Oh, wow. They were... Was that smoke missed? Is that what happened?
It might have been.
It might have been. It could have been a smoke. Sometimes people throw that smoke so that it lands in front of connector so you can run underpass and check it safely and fall back easily. But it seemed like just as that smoke was dissipating, another smoke bloomed on the floor, and that exposed a couple of Liquid's players. In spite of that, they're going to buy up and try the smoke again.
Ominek now just going to be sitting back and waiting over here. And the rest of Liquid actually grouped up, getting ready to go into B. Well, their economy has been broken. They were actually able to put together a pretty semi-decent buy for this round here. Now as they get themselves together to get ready to push into the site, well, the molly is going to put a quick stop to that. Misfits will be held away, or Misfits will hold back Team Liquid as a result of that. Shazam also looking to pretty much just prep himself for the battle here, as he's assuming they're going to work from this position out onto B, regardless of the molly blocking them. But that's actually not the case. Liquid fell back a little bit. They're repositioning their players all across the map. They've got connector control, specifically being mounted by Stanislaw at this point. He's going to push forward. And now we do see the rest of them getting ready to try and go for what was looking like mid to A, but I'm not entirely sure at this point if that's going to be the plan.
50 seconds remain. JDM in front of the connector smoke, and we can see 3 smokes plumed. Liquid have a decision to make. They have lots of mid control and options. But with this passive setup, Misfits are allowing them to take this and will be a threat at either site because of it. And in response, have kind of played close to balcony. No one inside of apps, however, so no super overpowered position on the A site. The only thing they have going for them in particular is the 3 people here.
Molly going underneath, he is going to change Devic's position, but he just decides to sit inside and fight for it anyway. Ominek trying to spray another double kill, and he gets it this time, but he'll go down to Elige. Sick, however, coming back out from Firebox, picks up 1 more kill, tries to knock out the last man standing. He'll fail at that, but Elige now put into a very tough situation. Somehow still alive, actually, after jumping directly past jungle there, but eventually Sean does take him out, and that will secure another round for the Misfits. 4-1 here.
Wow, that would have been a really big kill if Elige was able to land it. But look at this spray from Ominek. Actually, like, really impressive that he was able to manage that second kill. And it can be extremely hard to adjust, not only to someone on the left side of you or wherever the spray might go, but someone who, at that point, also moves. So, you know, your crosshair, 15 bullets in your spray is not going to be on them, but then to also track a player with that can be quite difficult.
So you see, again, a quick execute being lined up here by Liquid as they are on a Nico. They're going to prioritize getting the plant done over everything else as they push in. No surprise that it is pretty much a shutdown here. The attempt at a plant fails, and the last man goes down right after that, so no reattempt can be made there. Misfits succeed in denying Liquid's only goal in that round, and besides that, shut it down without losing any of their own players.
This is looking strong. Lots of money. Doing a great start on Mirage. Liquid, even with their mid control, are failing. And sometimes being able to close out the round, that single one they had, was actually off the back of kind of a little bit of luck where Misfits over-rotated when they thought they'd be safe for a few more moments. And Liquid fortunately found a good timing at that hit on B. So beyond that, we haven't seen a good reason why Liquid should be winning this game. Okay, that was a nice kill. But there's also someone here to trade. That's Sean Garris, and he also has palace control. A lot of information knowing that he killed Stanislaw. That name tag pops up and you realize that this is a player who just publicly stepped out of calling or main calling because he didn't like doing it as a lurker. So that's a fair bit of information gained.
So they push him, but the thing is he doesn't push outside. They check towards ramp or anything like that. So this B play might be a little bit of a surprise to them. They currently only have Shazam defending it. He's able to get the first 2 kills on the way in, though, before Twist trades him out. And now the reinforcements have arrived. Twist is here. There's going to be a second in market in just a second. They don't even realize that Twist got out. And look at that. Just destroys both of the remaining players on Team Liquid. Beautifully done as Misfits hold great control again here, as they're now in a pretty leading position, 6-1 here over Liquid currently.
Yeah, there wasn't even like a huge rotate to be off the information. It was just Shazam getting that first kill, calling for his teammates to come, and then not enough utility to flash him off his later position. Liquid again, saving, half buying, I think, with the few players on armor, staging what looks like a committed A hit. And they're going to have to do it in the face of multiple mollies, you would assume. At least one player in CT has good eyes on A ramp.
Liquid again, probably going to do the same thing they did in their last eco round here. Just a quick play on A. Smoke's being lined up for it now. It's a little bit more delayed than the last time they were on an eco, but it's still going to be the same basic concept here. CT's a molly, though, so that's going to cause quite a bit of damage on the way in, and now it's all about just shutting it down before they can get that plant, before they get the extra money. And it seems they do that job quite well. Just left down to Nitro here in 1v5. 0 damage done to any of the 5 players in the Misfits, so this one is over. There is less than a 1% chance, I'd say, for Nitro to clutch this. Just trying to make the best of it, essentially. Flash goes over the top, does have a teammate turning around, but Devo is going to bail him out before he ends up going down. That's the round controlled by Misfits, and a 7-1 lead acquired. Yeah,
leave it to them to just properly use their utility in response to any type of execute. It was fairly simple. It's very tough to make anything of a round like that. I honestly think you're better off on an eco round sending more people out Palace. Sending 2 A ramp to do right side side smokes, and then sending 3 out Palace, because the safe position that you would play on an anti-eco as a CT is to just sit back in CT, use your Molotov from safety. If you get smoked out, you get smoked out. Maybe try to spray through the smoke, go for 1 kill on the box and fall off, but not get too frisky. And for the terrorists, sometimes if you pour out Palace, you can actually just circumvent the Molotov, get it planted on default pretty easily with the right side sight guys smoked out. And unless there's someone sandwiched, they're probably in connector or stairs, so that can often work. But decided to go for the A ramp setup. It doesn't matter. They've still got tons of money, and it's not even like that plan has actually hindered them when it comes to their utility. JDM is the only one, but he would be pulling out the least amount of grenades anyway, and actually gets a kill with that op. Huge investment.
JDM with a great position there is able to push forward before Sick can even cross over towards the connector there. Immediately takes him down. So finally some light for Liquid at the beginning of one of these rounds. It has been all Misfits for the last 4 or 5 rounds now. To continue this, Liquid are going to go back in for fast top mid control. There is essentially 0 top mid presence being established here now by the members of the Misfits. They are watching out towards connector and cat, but they're not peeking at all. They're all sitting back in very safe positions. We're even going to have a T-smoke being established. Devo is actually out now all of a sudden in mid, but he's completely blinded. So he's going to go down. Sean, the first player for Misfits to even trade a kill, but that's it. He only gets the 1 kill and then dies a moment later. It's all on Shazam now. He's smoked out. If they go B, he can't see a lick of it. So essentially fighting against the world here and hoping for something palatable. But it's probably not going to work out too well. Finally, Liquid have something that work, and it's immediately after a pause too, so that works great for them. Shazam's been spotted though here in mid, and Nitro will take him down to secure it for Liquid.
Well, that's something for people alive. Decisive round here where JDM comes up for the A ramp pick. Wow, nice flick, very last moment flick onto Sick. He was about out of there. Probably thought he was safe actually, and mid control went swimmingly. Everybody busted out, got all their kills, no trades in sight, leaving the op alone with nothing to do but try to do damage. Shazam lets his op ring off. From here, moves out. Whoa, JDM actually gets the better of him. What a confident play. And it's even called out by Shazam, but he just straight up gets out-opt.
So makes early work of the mid player here. And once again, that's going to give Team Liquid a lot of ground to work with after getting that first kill. Now they just need to build upon this and hopefully not get upset if they attempt to crunch on the A, as it would appear they're going to do right now. We will see, though, as Liquid might change up their playstyle a little bit. They've even got Cat smoked off there as well, so it's all lined up perfectly for this right now. You can see Amanek being cautious of a push from the ladder room. That may not be what he has to look towards here. It's going to be from below that he actually has issues. The T's will just smoke back off window, though, after the original one fades away. And Omnek will continue to hold in that corner as the rest of the players in mid for Team Liquid essentially just wait for their other 3 guys to get in spots on ramp to get ready to execute. Devo, I'm not sure if he heard or saw anything, but whatever he managed to get info on causes him to fall back over here, and now is going to make an aggressive push inside of Palace. Stan is waiting, but this time he's going to come out on the bottom of that fight. Depo will take him down. That is going to prompt the rest of the ramp players to push back in, and they come out successfully. 2 quick kills for them, leaving Misfits with only 2 themselves to fight with. Now just 1, as Twist waiting in the connector was able to find Almanek. So it's just on Sean, and he's way over at B, so we'll probably be saving that M4.
That was crazy explosive, and it was exactly what they wanted to do, walking back to A-ramp and exploding. And Devo was super fast at Halls, destroying Stanislav. He actually retained control of it. Could have potentially been a looming threat that would have delayed the bomb plant, but instead, I think, tried to fight A-ramp after noticing that no one else was there to trade, and didn't know, because there were no smokes to follow with Stanislav peeking, that it was going to be an A-ramp hit, and went 1 for 1. And then right after that, Liquid got across the site. I'm so surprised that Elige was even on the inside of connector. Elige or Twist, I think, got on the other side of that smoke so fast. The rotator, before he could even set up to throw nades through the connector smoke, it's blasted. Uh-oh.
Oh, they do find him, but they don't commit to it, so he'll survive there.
JDM, very important in this situation, because they're about to get reset. Comes out with the opening frag and an optimal, no less. And if he had messed up the crosshair placement whatsoever, the pre-aim, if that was slightly off, Shazam would have almost certainly killed him.
That does not happen. Liquid come out on top, and JDM wins the opening duel once again. That's 2 rounds in a row. He's been able to do that here. And we'll have to look to do it again, as Misfits are still not completely bought out just yet. They have at least this 1 more buy coming in for them, and it still includes an op for Shazam as well. Everyone fully invested. Devo now getting ready for the hit. He's going to find 1. A great response from Twist, though. And it still looked like Devo was actually behind coverage, but Twist makes it work regardless. Sick does not want to fight at steps. He falls back into the connector instead, and is going to let Team Liquid take control of the A site, get the plant going. They'll take their fight at mid. And that'll actually work out better for them, as now they hold a man advantage on the re-entry here on the attempt to retake the site. 3 players still left standing, however, for Team Liquid. Most of them sitting back over here by the steps, or excuse me, by the ramp position, and they're going to be ready to fight. You got 1 in Sandwich, 1 on top of Tetris, and 1 actually down the ramp itself. The CTs are quickly moving back in and retake all of that control, though. Sandwich and Tetris player is already dead, both at the hands of Almanek, too. And JDM, well, he's going to look to do as much damage as possible. He can only get 1 additional player. Almanek already well on his way to defusing that bomb, so it is going to be the Misfits to take control, and it's just in the nick of time, too, as like I was saying before. They were about to run out of cash, so this stops that from happening.
Yeah, very solid retake. Even though the bomb goes down, they're 4v3. They clear everything out safely. Twist gets killed on Tetris after not anticipating that somebody would push in at the exact same time as someone crossing stairs, so great spacing from Misfits to come in, solidify their lead, and grab a double op setup to make it that much more hard for Liquid to put another one together. But they've got a full buy to work with still, and wouldn't want a double op for themselves in response. Shazam just seeing in the Halls push. Stanislav, will he assume there's another person here? Shazam could trade, yes, and does. That's actually the second time I think Stanislav's not anticipated that there was going to be a second player in Halls, and there has been every time.
So that once again puts it back down into a 4v4 situation here. Nitro will move out and try to hunt towards mid. There's not going to be anything in window this time around, but they do have a solid 2-player setup in connector, along with Sean being pushed forward in apartments. So if they try to go towards either side for mid, it's going to be very easily known to these CTs here. In fact, Elige almost catches Almanek on cross here, but Almanek now sits back and is ready if they try to jump in the window. Twist, however, gets the kill onto Sean in the apartments here. And it's just as Sick was starting to rotate back in as well, so he's going to be able to establish this position. He is alone, however, so he needs to be very, very careful, especially against a player like Twist. Moves into the molly a little bit there, just as it's starting to fade away, and we do see him getting 1 kill, but Nitro is going to trade him out a second later.
They could probably plant from safety. They do have to worry about a big flank. I don't think JDM is going to be aware of it, and that should probably be his job. They actually haven't actually... Oh, wow. Opportunity there. He couldn't really have gotten any faster, though, so it was just unfortunate timing. And they still haven't picked up the bomb. Is it stuck?
I don't...
Or is it on Halls?
I think it's just sitting up top there.
What is going on? Oh, they just...
Yeah, okay, they just left it up there.
Oh my god. If they had lost that, they would have... I think it was Almanek would have got that kill with the op. He would have then scoped in, pushed up further, saw the bomb on radar, realized that he doesn't have to push any farther, and then that would have been a disaster.
You can see on the replay there too, they actually catch Sean because they decided to molly out the apartments a little before they go in, so that forces him out of that chair position, and that's how they catch him. So nicely done there. Misfits, though, with that round loss, they win one and then drop the next one afterwards. So that is going to force them onto an eco here as their money is completely broken. Stan, once again, winning out against the aggressive 1v1 instead of Palace. And this time he actually checks for that second player, but will pretty quickly fall back to regroup with the rest of his team. Or just head down ramp, actually, since it's probably going to be a better angle for him now. As the rest of his team has taken control of mid, so they're ready to move into whichever site they do please here. Just a matter of knocking out these last 3 players, the Misfits, and they've got control of a 5th.
The comeback is truly real. It was really the re-aggressions at mid that allowed Misfits to take control in a couple of those rounds. And also, good defense on the ecos. Allowed them to stabilize their economy, but Liquid have found some new life. But there it is, Shazam with a double headshot with the Deagle. And gets to spot the bomb. Sean also killing the only remaining player at mid. But with line of sight on the bomb, this is actually winnable. They've got lots of nades to work with.
Shazam, he's going to be waiting for Stan to push back in, but Stan manages both of those players anyway. All in his lonesome there. Nicely done. Recovers in what was otherwise turning into a little bit of a dodgy situation. We'll take another look at the play from Shazam here, too. Does a nice job doing work with the Deagle, as we've pretty much come to know with him. Just a dominant pistol player across the board in most circumstances, so pickups there from him. And this does now afford Misfits the opportunity to come back into this next round with a bye. Pretty decent one at that. It'll be on the second last round of the half as they look to try and go for 9-6 or 10-5 if they can at all here. Top mid control going to be exercised by the CTs as they try to go for it. They lose Sean. Devo almost able to take out Elige, but he just barely survives the encounter with 4 HP. Nitro is going to be forced to relocate here too. Devo's not seen it just yet, however. And in the meantime, Shazam was able to pick up another kill here by pushing into the apartments. He finds Twist. Devo gets to it, top mid too. Now he's getting that work done. He does eventually go down. Somewhat expected. Now Stan and Elige have to try and work this 2v3. They don't expect Stan, however, so he comes jumping in from the top of steps. He's able to take down Ominek, and now it's an even battle.
Devo Duvek is super nuts in those 50-50s. Like, he's straight up taking duels where the other person is expecting him to peek, and he still wins them. Once and then twice over. Shazam is, very precarious spot. He hasn't made any noise. Will he scope? Oh,
they will now.
He didn't hear it, though. And if he peeks out a little bit more, he could see them going to mid, but he's not going to.
He had to have seen the one player crossing to know that there's someone in mid, because even 6 moving over to that position now too to try and check it, but it doesn't seem like he has an accurate idea of where they both are. Gets the higher HP player though, and that's what's important right here, as now Elige just has 4 HP.
Oh, he heard that. You heard it in the halls.
And now you heard that jump, but he also, I think, heard him jumping back down from up the top side, so he's going to come back and check this once again. He sees the smoke and everything too. He's going to catch the plants, but that at least did allow for him to get this plant going. Now he's to try and clutch it from the site, and that's not going to happen. Sick won't be able to take him down before he gets back towards CT, and that will close up the round for the Misfits. 9-6, or 9-5 is going to be the scoreline going into the last round of the half.
Damn, that's a clutch adjustment there to jump out off of Cat. And here's Devo again. Like, he's taking fights in a position where they know they're waiting for him to peek and push, and he always hits that first bullet. Very good, very efficient with that M4. It doesn't matter now if Liquid trade rounds, they've still got a solid half. They would have liked to, and were kind of in position to get 12, 13 rounds maybe, but it's not surprising that Liquid managed to make some adjustments and come back into this. That's why they are the pedigree that we hold them to.
Mm-hmm. So for Team Liquid now, this becomes a battle of trying to get at least this final round here with this bye that they bring to the table. It's definitely nowhere near as dominant as things were back over on Overpass. They actually have to fight for their wins here. And JDM crouching, really trying to sneak his way out through the apartments. It's not going to be the best way to start. Ominek takes him down right out, and Shazam also peeks from Connector to be able to find Elige and eliminate him. Just like that, Liquid are down to 3 players, only about 30 seconds into the round.
Again, this is a critical map, especially for Misfits. Liquid, you would expect, could maybe figure out the rest of the season on a 1-1. But Misfits, I mean, if they don't get this, it'd be very unlikely for them to make top 6 in EPL. So, the critical moments in the season. And for them to have a lead in this half is incredibly important, honestly.
Well, Liquid are still going to try to creep out towards B with all their players remaining here. Bomb just being kept behind a little bit of Tossie Tildian. Stan does have most of that. He's got Molly's along with Flashbang. The first Flashbang over top blinds the player on site. Keeps Sean in vision, though. He's going to spot at least one of them. Ominek will get the second. Yeah, there we go. It's all down to Stan, but he's obviously not going to be able to do a 1v5. So that will close it out very much so in the favor of the Misfits at the end of the first half, which is a surprise to many. Stick with us to see if Team Liquid can come back in the second half, or if Misfits will shut it down, making it a 1-1 for the night. We'll be right back, folks, with more ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
And we're back once again, ladies and gentlemen, for more action here. It's still Team Liquid taking on the Misfits here on Mirage, and it's actually Misfits that come out on top at the end of the first half. 10-5 scoreline coming off of their CT side. Now they jump on the T side. We're going to have to try and hold it together to be able to try and trade this 1-1.
Yeah, they just have to do, I think, they just have to follow up with the same smart play that they were doing in the first half. I think mentally they're probably back into it. It seemed like they were coming in unconfident, but fit sort of that stuff out. Maybe you could look at the first map, and for them, I think it would be healthy for them to have looked at it as a write-off, because I think there's some stuff they couldn't account for, some stuff that was Liquid being nuts, and some stuff they definitely messed up, but a lot of stuff that was still somewhat good, like some of Sean's calls, for example. They definitely fell back on a good CT side.
Well, we're getting back into it here now, and with Misfits on the T side, we'll have to see if they can keep it together. Starting off with a pistol, of course. They win that and don't get ecoed in the second round. They're off to a really good start, as that could potentially allow for up to a 13-5 scoreline to be established before Liquid even have a chance to buy. Deep Smoke's going back in, as Misfits are going to go for a fast execute outside here onto A. And while Liquid will be ready to defend that stand with the dualies in hand, is going to look to see if he can impact with a few kills in his own regard. Only gets one of them, however. Sick to trade that out a second later. And now they're going to continue the rampage. Elige trying to hold his own, but he can only get 2 kills. Actually, as he's a little bit further back. It's his teammate, excuse me, that's lost, not himself. But still, 2 more T's going to try and push into this. This could be a slight mistake if they're not careful. Thankfully, they don't have to push in too far in order to get that. But now Nitro is able to push up to the site, tap onto the bomb. He's going to peek up from Trip Stack here, looking for options for headshots, but he can't find it. Almanek shuts him down, and it's going to be Misfits to control the pistol, coming strong into the second half.
That was nice. Put a lot of pressure, and that round definitely did just come down to straight-up aim duels, which they wanted it to. They just wanted to be in a position where the T's could take 2v1s. They made that happen, both times in CT, making it really difficult for Elige and Twist to find their frags. I think that Elige was playing kind of a bait setup for Twist, who was with him behind the box, but I think they wouldn't have expected him to be there. But made the adjustment, got the kill, and have further their lead in this half. Almanek scouting B with the MAC-10, gets blinded and killed. This might actually push all the T's out. Wow, 2 kills for Liquid. What?
So now the remaining 3 are going to push on to A. They should get site control actually pretty much conflict-free here now, but immediately as soon as they start planning, they're going to have to look for issues. As Liquid is very much going to be ready to retake this. They start moving back in. It is a first initial 2 kills, however, on the post-plant. They go by the way of Misfits, so now it's been even back down to a 3v3. And with only MAC-10s being recovered off the bodies of dead Misfits players, that's not the best odds for Liquid to still win this. They definitely have a chance, but they're not looking too great.
Yeah, are they actually... They might not even be going for this.
They're trying to figure it out themselves, I think.
Yeah. Looking for like a free kill, they don't find it, and they might actually recycle these guns. That's quite interesting.
Oh, Devo, nice recovery there too. He's being tagged out down to 64, but does bring it back. They do find Shazam as they were tagging him earlier. So Leech finishes him off coming out of market, and they're going to be pushing back in. But yeah, the bomb is way too far gone, so there's no opportunities for exits there either. Both remaining players on both sides of the equation will be able to save. However, it looks like they upgrade to a Galil there, so they'll at least have that 1 rifle going into this 3rd round.
The Galil, a gift and a curse. Nice couple of opening kills. Great recovery from Misfits to get on the A site, play the after plant safely, get those 2 kills to make it difficult to even go for the retake. And nice composure from Liquid to recognize that even 3v3 and they got that good opening. That once the bomb's down and the smokes are out, it's kind of difficult to come into a site where T's are waiting for you to retake, and it's hard enough to do with even levels of weaponry, let alone that's such a deficit, no armor.
Devo just going to walk right in and find Stan nice and easily there. He's out in the open up on top of the platform. Looking for the second kill. Twist, however, nice little deagle shot back from Ticket. He's able to catch one in the zone. He's going to look to try and do it again, but there's too much AK fire, and eventually does find his head. The rifle now goes down, leaving only Nitro alive, and Devo just does not stop in that round. He goes off and ends up with 4 to 5 of the kills.
Liquid in quite a similar position to where they put their opponents last map. Have a bye here, but if they lose this, we'll be in danger of going to match point, and so we'll jump right to the double op setup. On a big map that can help ease the rotations. If you keep them apart from each other, all the rifles in between can freely rotate, not have to move all that much. Makes you less susceptible to fakes and allows you to get a lot more information safely.
Misfits are going to quickly roll back out onto the B site here too. No hesitation on it. Nitro looking the wrong way, however, trying to dodge flashbangs. He's not even going to get the initial first full kill. Stanislaw will find it instead, and Nitro will very quickly get overwhelmed with that op in hand. Now Stan has to work this site solo. He's gotten the 1 kill. There's been good damage applied to multiple other players for the Misfits roster. That's Stan now swinging around for the second pickup here, and there's a flank coming in from Elige. It's looking good for Liquid, but no, the flank gets outwitted, but Stan is still alive and still fighting in the back of this site. Now JDM can support, and it's just on Sean in a 1v3 situation with no bomb control either. He goes down to Twist, and a beautiful hold from Stan saves Liquid in what could have been one of their last gun rounds.
The B take looked really good, but they slowed down as soon as Sick got a kill. They really just needed to jump out of the window. It was the most unlucky round possible for Nitro. He flicked back, legged somebody, shot another person in the leg, even though it was like pretty much a headshot angle up on the B-apps from the corner of the site, and then still they couldn't get across the site. They just like froze up almost. They just needed to get out there.
Shazam is still going to be sitting over here towards top mid too, trying to make sure that no one from Liquid tries to get aggressive here now, since Misfits still have the money to rebuy into this round. Devo sees the ramp play, decides not to stay peeked on it though. We'll fall back and just let them peek in and then fall back themselves into the A site here.
This is interesting because they just went and got that information back really quickly. For Liquid, I don't think it's going to affect them too much. Oh wow, Sick's going to be able to be spotted, yeah.
So he's down at 21 HP. He's got a smoke off connector here now too to avoid being completely knocked out if he tries to move, which I don't even know if he's going to do that for another at least 10 seconds or so. He's definitely going to want to sit inside of that cubby where he's relatively secure. Devo as well continues to wait for someone else from Liquid to try and push ramp again, but he's not going to get that. Almanac has to be very careful though. You can see that blue line. The op is very much trained on this angle. Although it is changing position every once in a while. JDM tries to account for not only that, but a quick cat push too, since he's not 100% peaked for cat all the time. That'll change in a second, however, as the CTs are about to push back in from Cat. There's Nitro picking up a first kill in doing that. He's able to eliminate Sick. Here comes the push, and perfect timing, too. Catches JDM when he has nothing equipped. Thankfully, Elige is close by, so he's able to swing back into the window room there and quickly trade out onto Almanac. Devo finds another kill for the T-side moments later, and Shazam, he's going to see this player up on top of the Cat Tetris area, but still gets shut down anyway by Nitro, and Elige with the kill into Sean. He's only Devo Duvek alive with 25 seconds remaining here in a 1v3. He's going to try to play this slowly, but ultimately he can't. He has to get that bomb back, get this thing onto the ground. If he wants to have any hope of the clutch here, he'll even just peek out towards connector here. He saw the player at the top left, and I think it distracted him a little bit and allowed for Stan to have a free shot to close out there. 7-13. Liquid just 6 rounds away from tying it up now.
I feel like Misfits' indecisiveness was capitalized on by Liquid's constant re-aggression at different choke points. That A-ramp push, they fell back off of the cat push. They got a kill on connector. The window was one kill where like JDM was so ready for it for so long, and then just finally switched to a grenade, and then that's when he didn't even pull the pin on. He didn't like let go of that grenade, so there's no way that they heard him.
It was just unfortunate timing.
Yeah. Just CS things.
So now we have all 5 for Misfits. Going to try to make a quick bout for the A site. Hopefully get a plan off of that. Team Liquid actually doesn't have the greatest site presence established, but the smokes as well are also not really going to cover off the whole site. Only the jungle side of it. So Ticket is going to be a possibility for them to fire back on, but nope, that gets smoked off too. So while they're still going to be able to control it, the plant goes down. And that was Misfits' ultimate goal for this round. So anything else they get from this point is just a bonus. Shots specifically going to be hiding on the other side here. Gets the one headshot, takes him quite a few shots, but then Twist will trade him out just a second later. That secures the round for Liquid, but Misfits get the plant, they get the extra money, they get 1 kill. They're probably not too upset about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. This is good. I mean, one player got blind, the other one wasn't, so they were pretty ready, and it wasn't like 4 jumped through at the exact same moment. Do you imagine if the Power Rangers just jumped out like one at a time, like slowly lurked out instead of all at once?
No, it wouldn't work too.
It wouldn't look good, right? It's not TV ready. Yeah.
Especially if it was out of a smoke.
You've got to come at them like spider monkeys.
So let's see, Misfits back in the buying train here. They don't get an op this time, but they do manage to get pretty much full utility. There's a lot of decoys there, actually, so I'm curious as if that was done on purpose or not. Looks like a majority of them are just going to get thrown out onto the A site in random positions, so how much is going to be done with that besides just annoying opponents? Sick will beat Elige, however, in this opening 1v1, so their attempt to take that top mid control for the CTs is not going to work out so well. Now with a man advantage established,
JDM, watch JDM.
they're going to be able to move back in here, but yes, JDM still holds Palace control, at least partially. He's able to get a nice up-close shot, goes out to Tetris for a second one. Twist contributes to a 3rd kill. JDM along with Twist both do end up going down, but Nitro can go back over here onto the bench to complete the 4th kill for the team, leaving only Sick alive in a 1v2 here. Very winnable 1v2, granted, but no, that missed shot might have just thrown away one of his only chances to really win this clutch here. Well, he's now going to be on the ground. He'll smoke it out just for safety as he continues to get spammed here. Tries to fake plant it. See if he can get a player to wrap him in. There we go. There's the 1st kill. He still has 40 seconds left too, but he missed the Q on Stanislaw going back up to platform, so he will not be able to finalize out that 1v1. Stanislaw wins it for Team Liquid, and they go up to 9.
That was close. JDM in a really tough spot here. Has to act swiftly, recognize that people could trade from anywhere, and yeah, eventually the guy in Palace gets him in possible position, made the most of it, and looks like we have a game, even though Misfits got the 13 rounds so quickly, 13-6 or 5 at one point, and now Liquid are within 4. So that's nice, 4 rounds in a row for them, and it's actually getting scary. And the pressure builds because Liquid have shown a ton of variation. Their CT setups, lots of adjustments in response to different things, kind of just like Misfits did, but that's not really the point at this point. It's really about who is going to have the better T side, and if this Misfits can't do that much better, and they will suffer a loss here.
Nitro should definitely have an idea of what's coming out of Palace here. It's not only him either. He has support from Stan, but Stan actually doesn't kill anyone, just does good damage to quite a few players here. So they're going to quickly burst back out. They're trying to check towards like Van and stuff though, so they're not actually checking the right positions. They'll still take down Nitro and leave it on just now 1 player as Twist got the kill on Shazam. But at least the bomb didn't commit, so Sean's going to try to be a little bit sneaky here. Ultimately, though, I believe Liquid have already caught on to the fact that he's fallen back and is on his way towards A. So Twist will be here to stop him unless Sean wins the 1v1 versus Twist. Bomb probably not going to be able to go down onto the site.
Oh,
and there it is.
Yeah, that would have been a plant. That would have been big. And that's all they wanted on their eco round. There we can see like I don't know if the bomb was spotted, and that's why the full rotate came out, but maybe if he was Palace, he could have jumped out and planted. But hindsight is 20/20, I suppose, and you never know. Well, what is going to influence that rotation? Though, one person should always say, if it's an anti-eco, you should never, ever have everybody leave a site unless you 100% see that red flashing light on the mini-map on the radar.
So 3 rounds to go here now for Team Liquid to tie it back up, and they need 6 to win it. Shazam is going to be watching for early aggression this time around, see if Liquid try to burst out or take positions inside a connector, but no, it's going to be JDM that goes down to the underside there, finds Almanac and takes him down, giving them the 5v4.
Another big win. Misfits really against the wall right now.
They do get their mid-control, even with the loss of Almanac, however, due to JDM and Elige backing out after they get that 1st kill. So they're going to have mid-control, it's just they don't obviously have great amounts of utility and whatnot to work this onto one of the sites. They are going to try to get right into the gates of A and burst in here. They've got connector presence and Palace presence. There won't be any players moving out ramp, but you can see Twist is trained right up on Palace, so these guys need to have something to blind or deal with him. Oh, okay, apparently just shooting him out is the way they're going to deal with him. JDM does trade onto Sean, but Devil also picks up a kill. Shazam is found in connector in the meantime, though, but the bomb sneaks onto the site, and now it becomes a 2v3 post plant, as it should be going down in a moment. with the smoke and flashes clearing out the player over here at CT. It also forces him right into the hands of Sick, who's going to be able to get that kill on a Liege by moving through crawl space. Now, though, Stan's going to move in, but Devo so on the draw there. Takes him down, and Sick even counteracts the player rotating from Cat into Connector. So very well cleaned up there from the Misfits. They handle that 2v3, no problem at all.
He was running back and not even looking at him. I would love to see his POV if we have it, but man, that was insane. Like he heard that he was running, decided to swing around stairs because there's a free kill. Catch him on his way to Tetris. Nope.
Now, we did see a pause call out there. I'm going to assume tactical for Liquid at this point, but...
Yeah, they have also bought up.
It's actually a Misfits pause, excuse me.
Oh, okay. So I guess because they barely won that round, that could be a reason.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, we did see the buy for a second there at Liquid. I'm pretty sure, if I was looking at the money and everything correctly, that even with all those wins, if Liquid loses this round, they're broke.
Yeah, they're reset.
And that's essentially GG.
They're still kind of broke here. They have an op, but they also have like an MP9 and some other stuff.
Yeah, I was able to catch that as well. So it should be a relatively quick pause. These are the 30-second pauses online, so we are going back live. And let's just find out here. And yeah, you are indeed right. This is a
rush B, boys. This is what I would do.
It's a very poor buy from Liquid just at the start. So actually that last round might have been more important than this one, to be completely honest with you. But we'll see if Liquid can hold it together, because they've been doing actually a pretty good job on a lot of their eco rounds. So I wouldn't count Liquid out just yet, just because they have a couple pistols and an MP9 in the buy. Certainly still winnable for them. I
hate mid control on anti ecos, anti force wise, anything like that. Just so many choke points to keep a hold of, and with only smokes to separate you guys. They can work their way up Cat. Amanek is here in Connector to make sure no one can push through. So at least they're doing it fast. I do appreciate that.
As they move in, Amanek's going to be able to find a Liege inside of Connector too. So gets rid of that danger. Still the 2 players in either site. So it really doesn't matter which way they go. They're going to have to deal with the same amount of odds either way. But JDM just getting players with the op one by one by one. He's just knocking these guys out from through Connector, it looks like. Just taking pot shots, and they seem to be working. So 3 kills for him. Nitro up on this boost spot too. They haven't even seen him yet. So he gets a free kill on Sick. And now it's just Devo Duvek aligned with a 1v3 trying to clutch this out. But the odds are very much working against him. Only 30 HP to play this. The Molly's going to force him to reposition. I believe Nitro will know that that Molly hit him at least 2. No, it was for a small amount of damage. There was a Molly himself, but Twist comes in from the other side at Market to close out Liquid. Make it happen with only an M4, an AWP, and a couple SMGs. They managed to hold the round together.
Oh my god.
This will keep them in the game.
So they took too long to get up Cat, and why are they even looking that way? Why aren't they just committing up Cat? JDM's just like there, and that's why mid control. So Cat is first of all the hardest choke point to get up of, to get through without taking damage, just because you can see it from window, you can see it from Connector, you can hold it from Cat, right? And that's just so many options with the CTs. Now you have a player at A who's killing people who are going B. That would never happen if you went apps. I'm not even sure what the benefit is of going through mid as opposed to going through B halls on the force buy. Even if they pushed up, like what's so much easier about going through mid?
So Liquid knows for certain Misfits are back here, because they've been very noisy. I've heard at least 2 players dropping and a couple of guys running a couple times too. So Liquid should know that there's multiple people back here. And I think they're going to assume, because they should know they're broken at this point, that they're pretty much all going to be stacked here. And they're right to assume that. Liquid moves in, getting a massive number of kills, leaving this all onto Devo Duvek here in a 1v5 situation with the bomb down too. More than likely this one should go over to Liquid in a second. And there you go.
Huge round, man. Misfits could have won the game already, and now they have given up their economy. Now they don't have a lot of money to buy. Match pause, maybe from Misfits, who might want to decide if they want to buy. Oh, it's actually a tech pause. I think Misfits here want a half buy next round. Try to save off 14, and if they do win the next round, then they could still instantly win. So.
So we'll see, we'll see what kind of a buy they try to go for here on this round, since they're going to have kind of enough money to go for it if they really want to. Try and stave off Liquid's comeback. We are just fixing a small issue with Team Liquid here, and then we should be back into the match, guys.
Is that all their pings?
Yeah.
Why are their pings so high?
I don't know.
These pings are butt.
For everyone, really, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
They're probably like on opposite sides of the country. In fact, I think they are.
Where are Misfits?
They're all over the place, I think.
Oh, they don't have a team house.
Well, they should have kind of one.
Sean lives here in California.
Yeah. Well, but like I'm pretty sure Devo and Almanac live in something that Misfits own. I would
Maybe
assume.
they're just playing on Texas and they're like,
That's what I think they are. Yeah.
yeah,
I think everyone's like everywhere in this matchup. That's the problem.
no DDoS, please.
There's just too much variance in the people's locations on this match, so they had to pick like Dallas or Chicago or something like that. Actually, for California people, Chicago's probably terrible. So
Anything.
yeah, easily.
CT smoke, A ramp push. CT's ready.
And Misfits did decide to full save here, so this should be a pretty quick round in the favor of Liquid. They're going to look for a couple kills if they can get it. There's one. And it's actually an even trade. The big priority here for Misfits, though, is not to win the round. It's to get the plant onto the ground. And they're going to go for that, but they do it on the wrong side.
That's big.
Stan continuing to spam through, denies the first attempt at a plant. They're going to actually push through their own smokes partially here now in order to check for this and stop this from happening again. Now with an M4 in hand, they've lined up a kill. They just have a big blob of players. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with it yet.
Oh, they've got to be decisive. They have no smokes. A is almost out of the question. They have to be able to kill a player holding one of these choke points, and they know that's going to be pretty much one watching every exit except for the big flank most likely. But they go too far, they could risk getting opt. Like here, JDM, what do you have a player, you have a teammate in CT. Yeah, well, you have a teammate in CT, JDM. You have to trust your teammate.
Just double checking. He doesn't trust it. So he'll sit trained on this angle now. And they'll start to push into it. Spots the player with the bomb, too, so is able to drop him. And I think he called out that there was more. Now Nitro lines himself up for the double kill at the end of it, and he gets it. So nicely done. 13-14. It goes all the way. And now Liquid have to either tie this up or potentially lose it at 13-15 if Misfits do win this buy-up.
Surprised I didn't expect anyone to be connector either. I think that they had an opportunity there to, one, not die, but that would be by chance if they just didn't run into JDM, because how would they know he was offing from back there? They could guess, but, you know. And then to not clear connector, even though it was 2v3, they could have just hard cleared connector, tried to find if someone was there. Wouldn't have cost them anything. They could plant front triple, but didn't even check.
So it's spread out again from Misfits on this round. They do keep a majority of their players back over here inside of the back B halls, but you've got Shazam peeking top mid, and obviously, as you saw there, he was able to strike first, taking down JDM. Stan's going to get aggressive, though, and at the moment, they're not really paying too much attention to something like this.
That's so scary. Don't turn off the X-ray. That scares me. It's just so worrying.
So we see grenades going in. He's going to hear, he's going to call this out too, so there's going to be really early rotates coming into the site. I think, however, they noticed him falling back. They obviously heard him falling back, so they're going to call this off because they know that their entire hit has been realized. The thing is, what do they now do, though? Because they just used pretty much all of their utility. They've got a couple smokes left over. A couple mollies, too. So it's actually not as bad as I thought. And waiting has worked out because now Almanac's able to catch a Liege. They're playing this slow game, and even though they use a lot of utility over towards B there, it still works out okay because they still have enough to execute into A if they want to.
Yeah, and they've also denied any information. And here they go for it.
There's no one defending the actual site. Just Twist back in CT right now. He might move up a ticket, but even so, that's only going to be one player, one position that you really have to watch out for. Devo scrolling there for a second, but definitely not fighting anyone during it. And now, yeah, it's just about finding anyone that might be hiding out in this site. It's relatively open. Twists. There's no way that Molly should end up spreading towards him, so he's going to be safe to hide out those barrels. And no, it actually did spread to him at the last second. So he ends up taking 40 damage. So I eat my words once again. Molly's continuing to trick me this evening. But with only 3 players remaining, Liquid not looking so hot.
They got to save because they don't have money for next round. Or, well, they have
on a few they do.
Somewhat. Yeah, oh, actually, no. They're going to be...
They don't have enough to rebuy everyone if everybody dies, so they do need to save at least 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
So because of that, they're just going to resolve to save all 3. It's better, I like that, actually, because this retake would be very dodgy if they attempted to go for it. So I think the odds are going to be better if they just save these guns and refresh it in the next round.
It's a big win in the defaults. Shazam out-opping JDM as well at top mid, waiting for him. That was important, and one of the first times that this happened in this half is JDM has pretty much killed him. Actually, I don't know how many times, but we know of at least 2, and those are important because they're rifle rounds.
So let's get into it. What could be the end of the match right here if we do indeed see the Misfits take it, but with Liquid saving all of their own players, well, they're also going to be at full strength, and including a double op setup. Shazam is once again going to try to test his luck. They quickly throw a smoke over top of that Molotov, so it's actually not Shazam leading the charge anymore. It's the others, Devo put up in the front of the group. And Liege initially was going to peek top steps, but now is just stuck at the bottom here, a little bit scared. There's so many nades being used. Misfits using the chaos in order to get the plant quickly onto the ground. They succeed in doing that, but they leave all 5 players from Liquid alive, and essentially 0 utility for this post plant.
Yeah, they have no nades. They used way too many. There's 3 nades, 3 Molotovs being held onto by Liquid. They have tons of flashes, heat grenades, everything. They have a huge advantage in this after plant. The Liquid. Oh, there's such bad after plant spots for Misfits too. No one in There's no one to get to Palace.
It's going to be rough. And
they have a big flank, though.
They have to hope for Amanek to come out on top here. Sean is able to get a 1-for-1 trade after they lose Devo, but Elige continues to push back in. Amanek starts striking, but he can only get 1. They go down, and they're well on their way to the defuse, so it's going to be Liquid that take this round. It's brought to a 1v1, but that doesn't even matter. Stan just completely sneaks off the defuse and gets that last kill on Shazam towards the end of it, too. That won't really matter. Misfits still have the full amount of money they need to rebuy into this final round, but still, Liquid get over the big hump here, and now just need to win 1 more to take this to OT.
I'm not sure how I feel about the fast hit. I mean, I guess it would have been a lot better if they tried to push for at least an opening kill or a trade, even a 4v4, and also used a lot less utility. But I think we're just so worried about not getting that bomb down and just wanted to get that plant no matter what the circumstances. They really did let it run down, and to be fair to them, they actually got some kills. I mean, it came down to a 1v1. That was quite close. Oh, already up A ramp. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're going to try to go quickly again. They're just not using as much utility this time. Elige spots the players at a Palace, though, and does a decent amount to Devo there. And Almanac right up close next to Elige. Didn't even know that he got inside there, so they sneak right up to the site, get this kill. There's still quite a few players from the CT side lurking around A, though, so they do have to be a little bit careful here. So just make sure they're covering their positions, covering their assets here. Like for instance, Nitro here might be a little bit overcompensating since he does have Almanac watching for this too. Might want to adjust his gaze over to crawl space because, oh my goodness, oh, actually, no, this is, what am I doing? Sorry. Getting back into it. I lost track of the players for a second there. Anyway, Almanac holding out now, but both of them go down. Liquid find both of those kills, taking down Devo and Almanac. Shazam, Sick, and Sean now trying to hold, but these are not the greatest positions. Great utility usage coming out from Liquid there too. Sick's gonna get 1 more. Sick then falls after that, and now it's on Shazam. If he can go out and stop this diffuser, he could win it, but I think he lost himself in the smoke.
Oh, no bullets!
He ran out of ammo! Oh my goodness, he would have won the game right there if he gets that last bullet off, but no, it doesn't make it happen, and with that, Team Liquid will tie it up at 15-15. We go to OT for the 2nd time tonight.
Dude, 2 HP. Oh my god.
Wow.
His last bullet brought him down to 2 HP.
If he'd 1 more bullet, he probably would have won right there. Because I don't think they would have had enough time to get back on the bomb.
No, they wouldn't have. It was just within seconds at that point already. What a moment. And what an important game for Misfits. They absolutely need this. Like, they have to close this out. And they had such a great start. They had like that 6-1 lead. What did they end the half with? 11-4? Or 10-5?
Something like that, yeah. Would have had to, no, it would have been, if it goes to OT, it would have been, oh, 10-5, I think you're right, yeah.
Sounded like an auctioneer there for a second.
It's a long day. We are waiting for the players to ready up still, guys, so as soon as they're good to go. Obviously, Misfits probably needing a moment after what happened there, and after they realize what happened there.
Yeah, that's not like this.
To figure out how exactly they're going to be ready to continue this fight in OT.
He made it long. He waited long enough to make it seem like, okay, maybe there's someone Palace somewhere else, not going to push through this smoke. But
he timed everything perfectly. It was just not watching the ammo counter, realizing that.
Yeah.
Or maybe he even did realize that and thought he would have been able to do it with the ammo count that he had.
Potentially just felt like he couldn't reload, because if he had any sound cue, they would have just watched him. It's like, well, gotta do it. I wonder how many bullets hit. So he had 4?
I think he was at full HP too, so.
I don't know. You need 4 hits. 4 hits and not. You can do 4 hits and not kill, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
it
so.
just won't happen very often, but
they all need to be like you need to get like a couple leg shots in there and whatnot for that to happen.
Aren't leg shots better than chest shots?
I don't know the specifics on the AK. But yeah, so that's unfortunate that it comes down to that, and his opponent only ends up with 2 HP left over.
Dude. There must be some salt there, too. That's a former teammate, right?
A little bit, yeah. Digging into the wounds a tad. But yeah, so again, just waiting for the players to ready themselves up, guys, and then it goes to OT here. Same rules as the last one if you were here for that. If you weren't, it's 16K start. MR3 is the format, so the magic number here is going to be 19 to win.
Jeez.
Man, that has to... You were literally one bullet away from winning the match right there.
One bullet away from Odense.
So that's very unfortunate for the Misfits there. But he makes his best attempt at it and unfortunately falls just a bullet short. And so that now takes us into OT, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive into it here and take a look and see if the Misfits will be able to still try and close out, or if Team Liquid will complete this comeback and now win it for themselves in overtime.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually fortunate. It's double jeopardy. They could actually, if they win an OT, it's worth more.
That's correct. That's right.
But it also, if you lose an OT, you get a point, right? So, and they're directly competing with Liquid.
I think so, yeah.
Double-edged sword. Potentially could benefit them more, but maybe not. I'm sure they would take the regulation win before opting to play OT if they didn't have to any day of the week. But maybe this could work out even better for Misfits.
So Misfits, they're going to be pushing it. Wow, okay. Sick just walks right up to JDM there and takes him down. Nice first entry kill. They also, I believe, spot that upper sitting on backside there. But now Stan, he's going to be waiting inside. You can see Amanek trying to quickly turn around, but that won't work out. However, Stan continues to spray, and that will line himself up for a kill from Sick. Sick will take him out of the picture, and now leaves only 2 from Liquid alive. Both of them as well in separate positions. So Lee's just going to try to walk in over here on Cat. Get himself into the site. Sean will be waiting for that, however, and now it just twists. Left alone in a 1v4. Not the greatest odds here.
Stan fluffed it a bit. That was a pretty important position. Did a good job getting the first kill. It did like 90 damage to Sick, but just that last bullet couldn't hit it, and that would have been BAP's control. That's like holding on to Palace if a team comes up A ramp. It's a very, very powerful position for your teammates to retake from. They couldn't do it. Critical rounds here in OT as Misfits win one on T side, which is definitely their struggle side.
Yeah, so a good start for them, and now we'll just have to build upon that. Remember, they can win these first 3 straight. The rest of it's easy. They just need to win 1 out of the remaining 3 rounds on CT side, and they do have quick control over the matchup there, which would probably be relieving for them, considering the way the last round goes.
Yeah.
But obviously, no economical issues to discuss here, so we go right back into full buy for both teams. Double up set up for the CTs as well. So they are going to be at full strength here. And Misfits, once again, just go for a quick top mid control. And what do you know? They find 2 players right out in the open. JDM and Windows destroyed. Nitro's health pool gets brought down immediately to 15 HP. There's a great flash from the CTs, though, but again, Stanislaw, unfortunately, messing up a great opportunity there and goes down to Amanek.
Oh, that's a big deal. 190 damage right out the gate. Stanislaw misses a trade. 5v3. And Nitro is in dire straits. He has the op though. That's something, but it's going to come down to him as well. Oof.
I can see Misfits, all 5 of them, just going to slow walk up towards B. This is not going to work out well for Liquid, considering the 1 player that is in this site is also the one at 15 HP. He also does have the op, but still over here at Van, they're certainly going to check for that. And the 1 missed shot, he has like 75% of his scope has players in it, and he manages to shoot the 25% that doesn't. Twist moving in, at least gets the trade kill onto Sick. Now he's going to have to look for a little bit more, though, in the 2v4 situation. Twist keeping it aggressive. I like it. Now has to do a little bit more, though, as he's alone here, and unfortunately cannot come out on top. Amanek takes him out of the round, and that's Misfits claiming a 17-15 lead.
Wow, where was this Misfits regulation?
I don't know.
It's the early opening kills that have been key for them, though. The opening op frag that Shazam was able to get on JDM that 1 round, and we're talking a handful of rounds that they got in the second half. And then there, busting out mid once again, winning mid control. There was a round that I remember distinctly that Sick also was able to do that in the second half, where I think they got 3 trades without any kills. Whoa.
They got really far away from where he was aiming. A little bit too much movement there, but regardless, Liquid will have a little bit more aggression this time to defend the apartments, and that will work out okay for them, as that sends Shazam back now with a 1/3 of his HP gone to the wind. And Misfits will have to look for ways to make that up.
Forfeiting A ramp. You can see Misfits just definitely do not want them to push B apps, but they have a semi-aggressive setup that they don't need to fall back from until they actually see somebody or have someone get flashed. So the actual player bait won't work so well. Need some utility. And there's Amanek. Oh wow, Nitro, top of the van, takes advantage of them.
So the molly goes out, but obviously that's not going to mean too much at this point in time here. We do have the rest of Misfits getting ready to go for a straightforward A execute. All 4 players grouped up for it. 2 in Palace, 2 coming out ramp. They've actually got pretty much all their utility saved too, even though they were trying to throw a little bit into the apartments here. But at the moment, it doesn't look like the Palace players are going to be trying to use a whole lot of it. Sick just works his way out, gets a quick first kill. It's caught off by JDM moments later, and the player underneath the platform still has not been checked for yet either. So Twist gets away with a first kill for free, finds a second because his opponent's been flashed out, and the third one, well, because he's a good shot. So he's going to take down Shazam there, winning out at least one more round for Team Liquid, and bringing the scoreline to 17-16 at the end of the first half of OT.
Nice. I'd say that's still not bad for Misfits. Again, teams are going to be looking forward to their CT sides. It's been T-side that's been the problem for both. And Liquid now are fighting for their lives.
Indeed they are.
Magic numbers 19. Misfits get the comfort of, I guess, the CT side. And also in OT on Mirage, the CT side and all the money in the world means that you definitely have like a more distinct advantage over terrorists.
And are we going to see a double op? No, they decide to forego that for right now.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
We've got Sean right there.
They're choosing not to work with that. I guess he's going to be okay on the rifle. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is why I think is because they're going to get super aggressive in mid. So that second op wouldn't have worked too well for that. They're going to push right up towards top mid. It will be clear, primarily because everybody from Liquid is routed over here into the apartments, though. So they're going to need to realize that very quickly. They're flooding into A right now on the CT side, but this is a wrong read. Shazam has to figure out what's going on quickly. Otherwise, if he dies, there is no way they're retaking that site.
I don't know, man. Should have got that auto sniper, taped a dot to your screen, ran up mid and no-scoped him.
Oh, Shazam. Still wait for this. This is all about. He's going to have some additional support here now, and he can kind of fall back to play at long range. So now he's got his teammate forward. Amanek gets that first kill. Sick goes down a second later, however, and Stan wrapping in. Nicely done. Finds Amanek. Elige takes out Shazam and continues that forward to dispatch of Devo, leaving only Sean alive. Not a whole lot that he can do here.
That was kind of nuts. They had the B setup. They had a kill, I think, to kick it off. Sean on the retake realizes that he's just, you know, allowed to go for this, but 1v4 versus these players, unlikely.
Gets the one kill against Elige, but then Nitro trades him out a moment later. So unfortunately, Misfits, well, they do get the initial kill on Team Liquid trying to push in. They're unable to hold it due to all the chaos that's going on. Liquid kind of flank them very quickly as they try to hold primarily site positions, and they lose those site players very quickly, and the fast rotates don't do justice as they're very much out of position and easy to take down by Team Liquid here. So 17-17. If we want to see this end here, then either team will need to win both of these remaining rounds. Otherwise, if they trade, it goes to a second OT.
Fast connector split.
Nitro going right up into the connector. And, oh, that would have been very impressive if he got that, because he was actually midair for that. But it's Elige from behind him that gets it. And a second one on top of that as well. Moves in, now finds Devo. They have not found Sick just yet, though. So he's able to go back in, drops the bomb. But it's a quick turn of events for him as he's going to be traded by JDM just seconds later. Amanek and Sean now both split. One still in the B site, actually. And again, same situation as the previous round, but there's really not a whole lot these guys can do. They'll probably make an attempt at it simply because it's OT, but ultimately, they're fighting against the tide here. Amanek, he's going to be able to find one kill against Stan, but yeah, we'll go down to Elige just a couple seconds later. And that puts Team Liquid up on map point, 18-17. One more, they win it. If we do see Misfits winning this last one, however, like I said before, we go to double OT.
Huge 4K from Elige. Wasn't it the Sightbox player? Oh, I thought he was behind the site. Okay, so gets exposed, but a couple of very important entries on the fast split. Works to be the right strategy. Huge opportunity here for Liquid to close it out. Do Misfits get the same amount of points for losing an OT as they would for winning in regulation?
I'm not entirely sure about how the OT affects the points. I do know you're right in that you still get some, you can still get like slightly more points if you lose an OT. Comparatively, I just don't know the exact values.
Okay. Stan holding for the apps push. They know he likes apps, but they've gotten here first. He's trying to find an off angle to work with, but understands that if he puts any more pressure. Oh, and he brought a teammate with him this time.
I love how he just patiently waits for Lee. He's like, yeah, you go first. It's clear. Go
You're
ahead.
better than me, dude.
Yeah, no, you got this. And then ends up baiting him. So it works out to a certain degree, as they will be able to at least go 1 for 1 in there. But that also gives a little bit of small bit of intel over to the Misfits. Nothing they can work off of, really, however, as we are going to see Stan fall right back over here and regroup with the rest of his teammates in B halls.
2 top mid. 2 in B. Rotates are actually out and favoring B. Sick is trying to watch the window flank, but now nades have come out.
Twist going loud too, so they're going to know they're coming. They should be able to hear the footsteps. Shazam catches the first player trying to move back out. Sean's aligned to grab a second here now. Stan did wrap back in. We will see JDM trade on the Sean, but it's after he gets those 2 pickups there. So it's now a 1v2. JDM looking to clutch this situation and more importantly win it for Team Liquid. He goes for the fake plant first off. He does have a little bit of time to play with this. In doing this, however, he has allowed for Sick to sneak into the site, mistimes it, and that is when Devo is going to push in, is right when JDM is out in the open. So that will close out OT1. It's still tied.
Double OT, yeah. 2 rounds T-side for both teams. And Misfits just barely hanging on by a thread. So actually A-site was a little bit weaker, but it's hard to tell with A-site because you can isolate one person, but sometimes it's just a retake that's on the ducket. So double OT.
Looks like Misfits reconnecting a couple of players from the looks of it. So I think it's
maybe
Misfits.
they thought they won.
Oh, you know what? No. That's right. It's I forgot that they can run around. This is like a warm-up now. Thought they'd be frozen again. So as soon as the player's ready, we'll jump back into it and keep this action rolling. Once again here, both these teams still fighting for contention to remain in the top 6 over their Odense playoffs coming up here at the end of the season.
I've heard that pronounced so many different ways this season. Odense.
I think it's Odense, I think is the right way to say it.
Odense.
Odense.
Did you watch the commercials, Blue?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going,
You have
I just don't have...
ad block in your mind. You damn millennial.
I just don't have the huge accent on the O. The Odense.
Odense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I only know how to say it like the ESL guy.
We've never met that guy. We don't know who he is.
I feel like people that sound like that don't have faces.
He's just a guy that...
Always disappointed.
Yeah,
You know?
he's just a guy that records the ad rotation every season and
Yeah.
we never see him again.
No, I don't think he wants to be seen. I have a feeling. I feel like he'd just be doing movies.
He lives a
if
very...
he was as handsome as he sounded.
He lives a very private life.
Yeah. Face for radio.
All right, so it should just be about another minute or so here, and then we'll jump back in. Obviously, the players taking moments to pace themselves here. In a lot of ways, OT does become a kind of a war of attrition, especially at 16K, because like you said, it's much more likely that you're going to have multiple OTs because of that money start. So,
I want to have a chat with whoever thought it was a good idea to do MR3 16K.
I believe that would be the players themselves.
No way.
Well, I'm assuming that it went through, like got approved by a majority of the players before they put it in, so.
MR3 10K.
That's what we did have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it got changed. So, imagining that was more of a split decision, but I don't know exactly how that works. But I think the players would have had to approve it, if I'm correct in assuming that.
They can take some time to talk over whatever strategies they're going to try to reveal. Probably saved a couple of strats from Odense that they feel like, all right, well, we got to get there first.
That's it. Let's bring him out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here now. We are going live with the second OT. Magic number to win now becomes 22, and the tie point is 21. Let's jump into it. And the teams will be staying on the same sides as well for the first half. So Misfits still on CT. They have that. Now they're going to bring out the double op setup. And Team Liquid are going to be on the T side here. Liquid doing very well, just not able to close out on that last round there. So close, but so far. Looks like they're going to quickly split players again, too. 3 going to mid. They are going to be a little bit more careful once they get up towards connector here. And Omnic also watching for this side, too, but wow, he fires off way too late. He was trying to catch the first player, misses that opportunity, and goes down. Now it's up to Sean here, who's sitting alone in the site. You'll note that the positions got changed up slightly there, too, with the way that they were using those players in the B site. But Sean, he's going to end up getting knocked out after only finding 1 kill. Devo will find 1 trade onto Stanislaw. I believe that happens over there towards A. But still, it's a 3v3. Great control established by Team Liquid. And Lige trying to flash back in. He's got to be careful not to flash himself, as he did the first time. He ends up reflashing it, and now Molly goes out. It's going to force him into the opening, but he makes the kill happen anyway. It's actually Twist that gets both of them. Elise just staying alive here, gets the assist. Now it's all on Devo, who is going to come in late on Cat, but since the market players get utterly decimated, he has to push in on his own and hope that he can get lucky here with the 1v3, finding a player in the open to start. He does find a player in the open, but he doesn't get the kill, and Twist will eventually re-peek him to take him down. Liquid start off with the advantage on T-side, 19-18.
That was good. Nalij, you know, he realizes he's pretty much dead, but and he ends up living, but he's pretty much useless and has to just go for like a YOLO peek, but has a teammate there to support him and try to throw the 2 flashes just to make it seem like, all right, maybe he left, because they would have had to unpeek with the flashes popping in their face, and 2 people won't avoid, or there won't be 2 flashes dodged, most likely. He did what he could.
Misfits will try to push towards top mid, but there's a whole squad of Team Liquid players waiting for them here. 3 guys just sitting there trying to punish that if they continue to push for that. And in fact, they almost caught a second one there. You could see it. I believe it was Sean that just barely manages to escape inside of the connector there, getting out of the hot spot and falling back into the A site. Liquid now has their top mid control, but they still keep players split all across the map, so it's still uncertain whether they're going to try to split this towards A or B with this control being established.
It's interesting how you can juggle the connector player by putting pressure on him from mid, and then his fallback, he almost always will check halls, but and seeing that there might be an opportunity, falls back, takes a crack peek shot at him. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage though. And once again, Misfits 2B. Liquid want to go here. 3 actually. Big rotate.
Shazam gonna be very careful, as that could happen. And Twist will just immediately knock him out. Elige even finding Sean too in the other portion of the site. Sick. I was really hoping someone would lurk out. What is this now? Sick's gonna walk right up, gets 1, gets 2. He's got the bomb back under his control, but he peeks slightly too far out. So that's where JDM is gonna be able to take him down. Now just Devo Duvek in a 1v3 here. And he does have the flank, but JDM is already checking for it. Good peek from Devo, but that is gonna let JDM reposition, getting out. Dangerous position himself, and with double mollies up on the side of the apartments here now, it's going to slow Devo down even more. His odds slowly shifting away as now he gets pelted by a nade too. Nitro really just playing with him. He knows he can't clutch this out, especially with the time remaining. It's not even worth it to throw his life away, even though they do have the excess cash. So he's just going to back away and try to save that M4.
That was nuts. Super important to hit that entry as well. Again, Misfits. Good setup at B. 2 dedicated, 1 rotator. Set up properly for the halls. Went to spot it though, and Twist just like, you don't normally hit that shot, even if you're ready for it. So that was pretty insane. You know, Liquid have an opportunity. Well, I mean, it's an equal opportunity every round, but if they do close out 3, they only need 1 in the second half. That's a pretty big win. Double op setup in response. Misfits through this at top mid, but giving it up quickly.
We're still going to see Liquid getting a lot of control early on here, though. They walk right through top mid. There's basically 0 resistance at all from the Misfits side of things here. It's only until they get into the site, and even in the B site again, I mean, Liquid has no reason to change up their hit. It's just 1 player defending inside here, and that's a big risk being taken. They just walk right over the molly.
Oh, that's a good teammate right there.
It works out well, but look at all the damage they've taken now as a result of it. You got 3 players at 50 HP or less in some cases. So he's going to leave them relatively vulnerable to the retake, and that's exactly what we're going to see happening. Shazam and Sick both picking up kills as they get closer to the B site. Nitro now left alone in a 1v3, sitting behind the bench position, hoping to clutch this out. Devo's going to push him in a moment, though. Oh my goodness, it's clear, actually, so he gets that first kill. Shazam, fast on the draw, though. He trades it out, and that will secure 1 round here on the CT side for Misfits. 2 do go by the way of Liquid, however, so they hold the lead coming out of the first half, 20-19.
Wow, it did seem like they would have. It seemed like he thought he cleared it, but and it seemed like Nitro figured, all right, I've got to peek because he's about to hard clear me. I wonder if his teammate would have even looked, and if there would have been a chance there for some insane play, if that weren't the case. But split the half 2-1. Pretty good rounds for Liquid, but it's all only the numbers that matter. And yeah, this is where it gets very bare bones, as we talked about earlier in the OT. It's very meta, so strats based on previous strats as opposed to strats based on playing the team or coming up with new stuff or playing against what you've learned about the team. It's about playing against what you've learned in the match, in the current match.
So we do dive back into it here. You can see the live on 3 starting. So Misfits, well, they have to run all 3 of these straight in order to win. Liquid need 2. And remember, it's 22 to win, 21 to tie. So Liquid, with just winning 1 of these CT rounds, is going to be able to secure at least a 3rd overtime. They can extend the game at least. Not necessarily win it, but keep it going for a little bit longer, reset themselves if they slip up on the CT side at all. Misfits starting it off. They spread their players out all over the map, really. There's 2 over here in back B halls, 1 right outside of mid, or more T-spawn, I guess, and 2 more inside of Palace. They don't keep any ramp presence. No one tries to go for mid early on here. Very, very spread out at the beginning of this round.
One person pushing up, Stanislaw. Right in front of the smoke. Oh, whoa.
There's a hole in the wall.
Oh, boy.
Stan will continue to wait, though, despite that little bit of pre-fire that comes against him. He'll just chalk that one off as a random shot. I believe he's right to do that.
They're getting closer, though. Oh, are they? No, they're underpass. Let's see where that bomb goes. What?
It's not going anywhere right now. There we go. Looks like they're going to take it towards mid, probably. So that still doesn't answer the question on where exactly they're going to execute on. But I think with the player in underpass is probably going to be towards A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which means favors Liquid quite heavily.
Especially with the current setup that they have going here. JDM's not going to be able to spot in these players initially, but that smoke will not cover him. So Shazam just ends up casually walking right into JDM's position, and thanks for the smoke, because he's going to use that to bail out of here and get himself back into the B site here now that his job is done. He's established the 5v4 advantage. The T's will try to walk themselves into connector, and they'll smoke themselves off on the way in here so as not to get picked off by JDM on the way back. But they're still going to be fragging out here. Stan and Twist both picking up kills. Sick finally trades him out. It actually trades both those players on the site, but they still want a ticket too, and I'm not sure if they realize that he's here yet. No, they do not. They have no clue that there's a player here. Spams in, drops the bomb. There's not enough time to plant it. Devo left alone. He's going to run out of time in a second here. Oh, a nice shot actually to take down Nitro, but obviously, yeah, he's not going to be able to get that plant. The round concludes. And he will stay alive, so no huge deficit to his money. Not that it would have mattered anyway. That's going to be Liquid starting it off with one of the 2 rounds they need to win here. So they get up onto map point first, and they have these next 2 to try and close out on the map.
Yep. 2 chances, and they got the CT side. So, let's see. They've already used the Molotov, I think. It's like somewhat of a fast strategy from Misfits. They set up for A. They've done this before. And it looks like Liquid want to hold on to mid as best they can. A couple of shots missed. Might scare them, but that's about it.
Mozmont going on the ground here too, so Misfits are going to be ready to quickly burst out on A. In fact, they've already got most of A under their control in doing this, so Liquid's going to have to look for a fast position for a retake here. In fact, they catch a leash just standing in connector there, so Sick even interrupts his plant to take him out before he becomes an issue. Sean will now move in and take up his exact position. 3 players are going to very quickly push in from CT. They spot the one at Sandwich. They don't know that there's the one at connector just yet. He's the one, he could be the linchpin here that really saves the team, as Sean is going to be able to peek back out here. They still allowed one to get past them.
These are prime after plant spots. One on cat, one front connector.
Almanac having outside. Ooh, they got
out.
smoked out, so they're going to have to try and push back in through that. They do have the 3rd player waiting over here inside of the Palace area, however, so that's going to be the hardest one to deal with for Nitro, especially now that he still has to watch Cat too. Sees the guy pushing out of Palace, but you could see Nitro's confusion there and just trying to keep eyes on pretty much everything. He was caught even just looking partially away from his actual target when the Palace guy finally pushes back out, so that's pretty much an impossible situation. Good on Misfits to establish themselves at that point, and that does secure them their 20th round. This will decide it again. Liquid can close out here, or if Misfits win it, we go to a 3rd OT.
Look, Misfits use an insane amount of utility, but whenever they take A doing that, they're always given the plant, and not only that, retakes are not usually that good for Liquid, surprisingly. Oh, important op shots. Just JDM crosses in the smoke. Sam is right there waiting for him.
So that's going to
do some damage. Oh, wow, a couple kills on A. The Liege gets traded to 2v4.
Nitro as well, and not even fully.
He's on top of the plant. Oh my god. There's a.
What is happening? Nitro.
Uh-oh.
He gave him a 3rd chance to shoot him too, and he still doesn't get the kill. So 2v3, it's still winnable, even with the op whiffs continuing to come out here from Nitro at this point. Hopefully they can recover on the way back in. Almanac actually gives himself away there with the 1 bullet, but still does massive damage. Nitro finally hitting a connection, but now he's so low, and Shazam is going to be able to close out on him from ramp position. That will tie it up at 21-21. We're going to a 3rd OT.
Hell yes. I'm stoked. Analysts are hyped. I'm hyped. This is nuts, but I'm super surprised they haven't found an answer for it. I think maybe if they, I think a lot of it came down to the fact that JDM died in front of the smoke to A ramp. If they get that kill, you know, it's all a very different round because Misfits were clearly intent on going out fast and not setting up for smokes first. But maybe if he had some support to trade that kill, if someone was beside him to peek out. If he died to Shazam, even though it was kind of a safe position, could have potentially changed things up as well. Pal's guy's a lot less useful. It's 4v4, Op is down.
Yeah, the Opera that early certainly helps their case and trying to clear things out more quickly. They're going to have to continue on this T side going into the third OT, as they will start on T side this time. Liquid are going to be able to stick onto their CT side, where they will look to need to rack up some rounds here. Again, just giving the players a few moments, and someone turned their sense up to 20. So here we go. Going live now, and let's jump back into it and see if one of these two teams can finally close out here. Will it be Misfits or Team Liquid? Well, it's really anyone's game at this point, as things have been going very back and forth in this OT.
At least the viewers win.
That's true. It's more Counter-Strike for them.
And us.
So let's dive into it here. Both teams going with identical buys. No double op risking this time around here. They're just going to stick with a singular op, and then 4 of either side's rifles besides that, along with obviously full utility too. Misfits are probably going to line up for a pretty quick B hit here. JDM is sitting on the apartments actually watching for this, so if he doesn't get flashed, well, he does. If he didn't get flashed, he would be in a great position to find an early kill. But yeah, the early flash is going to throw him off the mark a little bit. Still gets that first kill. Stan shows up with a second and burns out a third player. Sean will go down too. Now another kill is found, this time by Elige, and it's just left down to Devaduvek. Well, he does get free mid-control. Wow, that was a quick headshot. He's still going to have to go up against a 1v5 here and try to clutch this out against impossible odds. Found the first kill, 4 more still to go, however. Elige will push him, and there we go. Elige gets his angle to take him out and secure the 22nd round for Team Liquid. Didn't mention it, by the way, but 25 is the winning number here.
It looked like Misfits executes on B are just really bad, but truth is, Liquid's counter nades are perfect. Like, the Molotovs are insane. The flashes, the nades that they even use to complement them, we're doing tons of damage and stunning them. So they've done a really good job just playing a standard like 2-man setup, stopping a 5-person rush. Now sometimes I think Misfits suffer from, if they lose the opening kill, continuing to be explosive, but in that round in particular, it was really good counter nade and utility uses from Liquid.
6 going to continue to go through underpass here now. Elige goes in. He gets the 1 kill, but doesn't realize that the second is there, or isn't able to recover spray in time. So Almanac is available for a trade. He'll get hit by a nade, however, so he's going to end up being a little bit lower at about 75 HP. But again, that's relatively even too, considering that JDM also lost about 1/3 of his life back on the other side. Liquid being very aggressive here on Cat, though, so they will be ready to fight Misfits if they attempt to move back in. There's the flash, no peek from Shazam, and actually jumping down, Stan, who was in the ladder room, is going to be able to catch Shazam out. So an early advantage goes by the way of Team Liquid, and now continues to grow with the elimination of the T-Side's Opera. They're going to look to do this even further once they start their actual push. They don't know which way they're going just yet. We can tell Misfits are slowly looking for a crunch into A, as Almanac just continues to explore the options out towards CT. It's clear here, so I think he's going to outright just push over here.
I think there's a chance that JBM goes back. No, maybe not.
Unless they actually push, which they're not doing. So yeah, he's going to be able to walk right up. Oh, he's going to be a little bit careful of those market players, and yep, he gets taken down by them. Sean, however, is able to find twists. They've now lost control over tickets, so they're going to have to worry about that. That's why they smoke it off. Still an even fight, 2v2, anyone's round at this point.
Got a lot of spots to clear and no information on where the terrorists might be, and someone's making a long rotate back to mid. That should 100% this, because Liquid always take their time on the retake, and Misfits know this. This is really smart by Sean.
Nitro and Stan, though, both getting ready now to push back into the site. As they move towards it, Sean is going to be waiting outside. The Maul actually goes into the correct spot, completely burns out Devaduvek, and they now push past the point where Sean could find impact here. And he goes up onto the steps. He can't stop the diffuser, though, so they're just going to stick it. And Stanislaw pulls it off as the missed shot causes him to complete the defuse and the round to go over to Team Liquid. 23-21 as they're continuing to take these CT sides.
I think
Excellence.
I think he crouched under the bullet.
Let's see. There's the first kill, and this one. Oh, he just missed it.
Yeah, he just missed it.
Swung too far to the left, it looked like.
Damn. Could have planted front triple. I suppose that was the other option, but he was exposed to Cat was the problem, so that, and they smoked for CT, so like that was the best plant they could get out of it. I mean, he had time to do it, so where it is. once again.
Shazam beating JDM this time here as they continue to train. Last time it was JDM getting it, but JDM a little bit too aggro this time, going way up to the top of the ramp, trying to take a close-up shot, will not connect it. Might have actually connected it and just not done enough damage. Shazam ends up taking about half of his life from that. Not sure if that was from JDM or someone else spamming into it. But look at this sick. Oh, has the angle, but Nitro comes in at the last second to bail him out. So Liquid are continuing to hold on despite the early loss of their teammate. Misfits still no sign of their push actually starting here though. They time it actually pretty well. It's when these Liquid players are out of position, but it's another 1-for-1 trade. Devo knocks out Twist, Nitro knocks out Devo. Flash from Elige will let him go top steps, but he doesn't see anything initially as the teaser forced back, and now Amanek with his mid flank alive and well. He's able to go in, takes down Elige. That's the open site for them. Nitro as well, whiffing big time on what should have been just an outright open spam, and now it's Stanislaw in a 1v3. He's got all these players low, but Amanek will take down Stanislaw, securing a 1-round deficit for the Misfits, but indeed they avoid the outright 3-0.
Wait, what is this? Are they moving into the second? Wait, shouldn't there be another round in this? Oh, is this the second?
That was the third round.
Oh, 23-22, okay.
So it's halftime.
Oh, 25, right, they need.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
We're in the third OT.
Yeah.
So Liquid still have the lead, but it's the same as the last OT here, only by 1. So they're gonna need to win at least 2 out of 3 of these in order to take the map. Misfits, on the other hand, still need to win all 3 and need 2 for the tie. And we are just waiting for the players to ready up again.
I want to say we are seeing less mid control. We are seeing less defaults, that's for sure. We're seeing like the executes that work, and they're fast usually.
Yeah, these guys have had again nearly 50 rounds at this point to figure each other out. So most of the strats that could be used, unfortunately for both teams' T sides, have been used. That's making the CT sides a little bit more easier to close out on. All this time from Team Liquid, it is going to be a very straightforward play through Molly's as well. Twitch just goes right through it.
The smoke. No, he threw a smoke on it, but it just went through it.
It just went right on top of it, I guess, yeah. JDM and Twist getting those 2 entry kills. However, Shazam is able to work with the op, but he's going to have Molly's against him in a second. Tries to smoke over it. Thankfully, it does connect onto the ground. With that new position, he's able to get another kill this time. So takes out Elige, they'll go for the plant. Amanek wants to punish that, but he can't get the proper angle onto the planter as he's safely tucked away over here behind Trip Stack, and the smoke is covering the other side of that too. So 3v2 now, Liquid is at a man deficit. But this is, that's actually a big risk than a 2v3. JDM wrapping all the way around. It is planted properly this time, but the thing is, Stan can't do anything now because he's been completely smoked and mollied out. JDM's gonna complete this flank, he moves in. Gets that first kill, has them off the bomb, and has a fully trained angle on the bomb too. He's going to catch a second player trying to peek him, and I think that flank actually pretty much single-handedly saves them in this round. The molly goes over top of it, and JDM gets the 3rd kill, so there we go. It's a big risk considering they were outmanned, but it pays off. Yeah. As Misfits are just a little bit too slow to clear the site on the retake.
Yeah, and it's good that they had the bomb planted front triple, which is what you ideally want to do when you make a play like that. It gave him a lot of options to not only hold from cap, but then also jump into connector and give himself a headshot angle. So very versatile. A nice job connecting all those shots. Now Liquid are actually 1 away with 2 chances to close out in OT number 3.
They will immediately knock out that molly here. The CT's having another smoke for Cat too. So a lot of things are going to be covered out here. And Team Liquid finally up onto match point again. Looking to close out a little bit quicker this time, but they are going to have to get past a double op setup for Misfits along with full utility. Sick has not seen this window boost just yet.
They got in fast, so they're not going to expect this now.
And there we go. Elige walks right out, gets that first kill. It is a quick trade, but at the very least starts off the chaos. And now Twist can move into connector. Finds Sick, takes him down. Twist will actually take a lot of damage spam through the door there. Tries to align for a headshot against Devo, but not going to work. Devo holds strong. JDM takes him down. Man advantage for Team Liquid here in a 3v2 situation. JDM is very low, but for now, they still hold that strong. And now they're going to bring the bomb into the site. They have their pick of wherever they want to plant this. They can essentially plant it wherever. So they'll just take it behind Trip Stack. Amanek sits over here in the inside of the window room waiting for someone to push him directly, but they're not going to go all the way in for the push. And now in scoping, Stan is going to be able to hear all of this. Lines up the shot very easily there now. Brings it down to only 1 who sneaks in through connector. He will be able to make it past Stan now because of the fact And he got occupied by that previous kill, but Sean is getting nothing done. He has very little time. He can't afford to sit around and hope for someone to peek. He has to fight, and he won't be able to do it. Nitro is going to take out Sean, and finally that secures it for Team Liquid, ladies and gentlemen. They take it in the 3rd OT with the 25th round sealing the deal for them.
And we can't forget, after such a big comeback too, such a big recovery as well. So tough loss for Misfits. Fortunately for them, they get some points in OT, whatever that may be. That helps in their standings. Liquid, though, really solidifying themselves with that win.
Yeah, and we'll get more information on those standings along with more of this match, of course, as now we head over to the analyst desk to break down this final map and, of course, to close out the night. Gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as always, your efforts and vocal abilities are appreciated, guys. Now, on to the bigger and more important topics here. We just had a thriller of an overtime. Talk to me about what you saw, guys.
Okay, where to start. So, you know, my initial thoughts when I first talked about this matchup was, one, can Misfits turn around from that overpass game and come with some oomph and not just give up? So I was curious to see where they're at. It was nice. I saw a tweet from Sean that kind of indicated that they were going to come back into it. So I was excited. It was after the analyst desk segment. I went and looked at Twitter. So that was the first thing. I was like, okay, nice. And then they did start on a strong CT, and I think, what'd they get to, 13-7?
13-5.
Was it 13-5?
Misfits were up 13-5.
So I saw some solid CT play from them. I saw them taking advantage of kind of just like not being scared. And I saw Shazam putting in work. And I kind of saw Misfits showing a lot of good signs. But they just, some of these after plants and little things. And so I can get into that. What were your thoughts before I do?
I thought that I was connecting it more to the LG versus CLG match.
Yep.
Counter Logic versus LG, right? So both teams had a huge lead that they ended up relinquishing, and then they ended up losing, right, in overtime. The teams that had the lead lost in overtime eventually. And I don't know if that's the theme, but also another theme that I saw is that it was Cache and Mirage, right, which are kind of meta-heavy maps that are strat-saturated, right? There's not a lot of new looks that you see. It's kind of like Dust 2-y in a way. And then when you watch it in overtime, it's just a dogfight. It's like you're losing these afterplant situations. And I would almost argue that in both situations, the teams that lost kind of had a better fundamental game. It was just their lack of ability to adapt to those like dogfighty meta situations and not playing the post plants correctly.
Well, and then the final, what was it? The final couple rounds of regulation there. You know, we saw Misfits go towards the A-bomb site, and I think we might even have a replay in a second. But aside from that, I just, like, the overall theme that I had for it was they weren't, like, going, they would take ground to the bomb site, and it was given to them. And it's funny because back on the team with Sean Gares, he used to talk about, and I gave the example of outside on train, where you plant outside if you have the wall of smokes. If you don't get a kill and you keep it 5-on-5 and you retreat to positions, it's actually very easy for you to lose that round because not only do you give up ground, the CTs kind of can assume where you're all at. And that happened to Mirage. Okay, the T's fell back. There's probably one sandwich, one under balk, the ramp, and maybe one flanking. And it did happen that way. And you know, So
that was round 29 and 30, right? That they got a sweet plant and had a lot of players alive in a post plant.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about defining rounds. We saw it earlier tonight within maybe one kill in the front of Cache towards there on the A-bomb site. Even into this one, in this replay we have loaded up, round 30, we could take a look here and see just a moment that really kind of defined it all.
Yeah, so prior right to this, the same thing happened. I think they got an extra entry kill. But then they just kind of sat around in these spots that were kind of obvious. But still, coming down to the end, 3 bullets on Shazam, the 1v3, if he gets this kill, they won't have enough time to hop back on the bomb and defuse it. And no, right there, the moment where I was literally about to get up, and I was like, all right, boys, GG.
He knows he has that amount of, he knows that he has 3 bullets. He knows that they're considering a ramp, and he actually makes a pretty smart play there to a certain extent, right? He's like, I know I have 3 bullets. I know that they've considered this position. I cannot reload, right? Because, you know, I'm waiting in the smoke, and if I wait till 3.5 seconds and try and kill him then, I can end it. But I have to go right at the last second, right? And that's because he can't reload. So it's like, oh, it's so close. And
you certainly hate to see it too. Yeah. From you know, even if you're a Misfits fan, you hate to watch that health bar go up red.
Yeah.
You know, so
and then I don't know, he's probably gonna watch the VOD, but obviously we see him with almost no HP left. So that kind of just was like a culmination of this whole match for Misfits. Getting so close.
It's interesting. You say VOD, and I think you could find those over at youtube.com/ESLCS, but I could be wrong. Is that right, guys?
I'm pretty sure you're right. I think it's youtube.com/ESLCS. Yeah. And then also tweet us at ESLCS. Let us know how you like the show tonight. Let us know what your favorite match was. And most importantly, let us know why I'm the best looking on the desk.
Well, that's up for debate, certainly. But what's not up for debate are the results from today, because we had a jam-packed day full of matches here. You can see right there, kicking off, we had 2 long overtimes today that we sat here and endured. And then on the
I
other
enjoyed
side,
them personally.
no, then you see a 16-4, sort of just the
Spruced
inverse
in
of that,
there, just
right?
a little bit of sugar on top.
And what were we saying about how Misfits might not make the top 6 to the LAN?
Yeah.
This is the first step to not making it, and that makes me sad because I like the Misfits. I thought that they looked great at the beginning of the season.
Well, the road to Odense is becoming more and more defined by the match day here at the ESL Pro League. But you can see SK Optic, Team Liquid, CLG, Misfits, Energy, Cloud9, Luminosity, Immortals, Renegade, Splice, Complexity, Team Rogue, and Ghost Gaming
Look at that.
to round out your 14 North American contenders.
I was hearing from production, Misfits still has C9, Ghost,
C9 Complexity, Ghost.
C9 Complexity, Ghost, and NRG. And so I'd say 2 out of 3 of those are pretty good chances for Misfits to keep their position.
But will they go to the LAN? That's
But
the
will
real
they
question.
go to the LAN? So, well, if they keep their position, they will, right? So, CLG also having a couple matches to catch up on. So, that 5th, 6th spot is gonna be it's gonna be an end of the season race here, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see that things are staying competitive here in NA, and I'm actually looking forward to the CLG guys. I want them to break through. I feel like every season they're right there on the edging right to the next spot, but they can't get to where they want. A couple lands, the famous non-diffusal. What was that? DreamHack.
Valencia
boys.
versus Envious.
Come on.
It was a rough one.
It was that Valencia, right?
It was
Envious?
Valencia, but I'm pretty sure it was against Red Reserve.
Oh yeah, and Mirage.
It was
Ooh.
Lele's team. But nonetheless, if we look at North America, we can see this picture start to paint itself. But if we just check out the fanaticism over here, if we look at the European standings, because right now Fnatic is in the driver's seat with a pretty decent scoreline right there.
It looks like they're staying north of FaZe Clan, but there's stars under them, and luckily there's no ninjas to concede them. But either way.
Well, at least the Ninjas can focus only on Pro League and not on the Major.
Yeah, otherwise.
Right?
Oh.
Ooh, man. Well, all right. Well, that just about does it for us. We're going to go ahead and take
Luckily
a
the major's
look
not in Poland.
at tomorrow's matches. Let's take a look at tomorrow's matches.
16-0. Anyway,
Liquid
sorry, that wasn't
Splice.
anything against Poland. I love everybody in Poland.
Look, Jordan, this is your
I love Nip too, but I mean, you got to make light of bad situations to move on and be happy in life.
It's a rough one for him. You hate to see it, almost like you hate to see a missed diffuser kill there in the last map of Mirage.
Yeah.
But, you know, nonetheless, Liquid, Splice, we've got Cloud9 and Renegades going into tomorrow. And again, this is not a super week. We're here for 3 days this week. And, you know, with that being said, I want to give you guys just a second to say anything that you might have on your minds just while we take this opportunity before we close the stream.
I think this is probably one of the most important weeks of the season. It's in terms of standings, right? It's a week where certain teams play more than others, and they play weaker teams. So this is like a week where you can kind of separate yourself from the pack.
Yeah, normally it being on Cloud9 the past couple seasons, you know, aside from our 25-1 win, this happened to us quite a few times where we would have maybe mixed results early on. Maybe we had to pick up our focus at home. This is that junction in the season where kind of the top 6 teams truly kind of start shining. So if you're fans out there, things should only get more interesting from here on the ESL Pro League, so I'd stay tuned.
It's super weird as things do start to come together here at the Intel Esports Arena, but it's super weird when you think about how many of these teams actually had to battle just to have a stable roster to compete with to this point in the season. Also creating quite the conflict across the board.
Tomorrow
Either way,
11 p.m.
That's right. We're going to be going from here into the next day. So make sure you're here with us tomorrow. We've got more Pro League. We're going to be finding out who's going to Odense. So make sure you're coming back with us here at the Intel Esports Arena.